Seahawks, we're sitting where we belong, sitting pretty at 8-5, as you can see, right on top of the NFC West. How are
Thank
you
you,
feeling,
DK.
Adam? DK.
Want to say thanks to DK for showing out right here, but feel great. You know what I'm saying? Because I still remember saying like, hey, while we're number one in the beginning of the season, we were like, just hey, for now, like let's just be happy we're number one. Now I'm just like, yeah, we should be number one.
Dude,
It's us.
the only thought that crosses my head is, man, those misses that we had early in the season, like against the Giants, maybe one against the Rams, like it's coming, it's getting tight. It's just getting tight. But we just take it 1 week at a time, don't we?
Oh yeah, 1 week at a time. It comes back just comes just back to man, just the team getting things together, but 1 week at a time because every game counts, and boom, here we are, 8-5.
Yeah,
Cannot complain.
yeah. So starting right off at the top, Seahawks
Well,
did it. The
that's
Seahawks,
us.
yeah,
We're back.
we're back.
We're still here.
We're still
We're
here.
still here.
We played the Cardinals. If you want to catch our thoughts on that game, go ahead and check out that video. Seahawks won 30-18. I will say we Seahawks play the Packers next, and so catch that video when that comes out. We'll do a preview for that. Cardinals. Let's see who Cardinals have. They have New England next.
That's an easy win for them, and it
Yeah.
could technically keep them in contention. Technically, everyone here in the NFC West, for everyone here, for everyone that does not know, everyone can still almost make it to the wild card. If not besides whoever's at the top. I think we can still take, I believe, two of these teams, not all three. If not, at least I know we can at least take one, but maybe two of these teams can be wild card teams. That depends on how the season shakes out.
Yeah, and so I mean, we can take a look at the four remaining games too. Do you want to do that while we're looking at
Yeah,
them for each of these teams? So
yeah.
I mean, we have the records here. So the Cardinals, they have New England, Carolina, uh, Rams, and San Francisco remaining on their season. And I mean, I could just see these NFC West teams split in games that they have down the wire. And
Oh
so
yeah.
like we can easily see. We think New England's going to win. What do you think about Carolina? Like they're on the up and up, but like
I'm gonna still say a loss if it's like for instance against the Cardinals. I think that's a loss for them. A hard fought loss, but a loss nonetheless.
Rams.
Whew, it depends. Are they gonna see the Rams that face the Bills this past week?
Yeah,
Are they gonna get the Rams where it's like NFC West, like NFC West battle where it's low scoring and stuff like that?
dude. I didn't catch a lot of that game, but like
I didn't even
is
know
the
that was happening that until I was like,
yeah,
wait,
because it
why
was
is
at
it
the
like
same time
this?
as our game. But like,
Yeah.
is the Bills defense that bad, or the Rams
They
offense that
were
good?
not that egregious in their previous games. I can tell you that much. You can even look that one up on the side. But
I mean, they smoked us, but
yeah, they smoked practically almost everybody but the Rams because the Rams said we have the answer to beating the Bills, and they basically just said we can pass the ball, not give up the ball that much, and so on. So I guess if we're getting to the Rams, they're 7-6. They're still a contender for the NFC West, obviously, because
sitting one
we
game behind.
have. Yeah, we're still a game behind because we lost. If we won that game, different story. But right now, it's going to practically maybe come up to like the very last game with the Seahawks versus Rams, January 5th. Whenever that might actually become a prime game, a prime time game. Because right now, Seahawks have in their next schedule two primetime games out of their next three games.
Yeah.
So they got the prime time with the Green Bay, prime time with and prime time with the Bears on the 26th.
And
Although it's not really prime time, it's just the day after Christmas.
yeah, and you look at that one game. We might look back at that one game against the Rams and think that was the one. You know what I mean?
We're almost
Because
there. We almost won that game too.
yeah, you take a look at the record. We would be sitting at 9-4, or yeah,
To
9-4.
yeah, to
and
their
they'd be
6-7.
6-7, and we'd be 3 games out. Like we would pretty much be in the driver's seat, right?
I think worst case scenario we lose. Let's just say we win some of the because we have to win a good chunk of these next three games with the what's it NFC North? Yeah, the NFC North.
Yeah, we're basically playing the entire NFC North.
Except for we're playing the rest of them. So we literally, if we can at least get 2 out of 3 wins there, That should be okay. So that would make us sit at like 10-6, and with the final game being the Rams, even if we were to lose and Rams get the NFC West from that, if let's just say they kept up too, we would still be on the wild card.
Yeah.
So
We skipped over Seattle, but Seattle has, which you just basically actually touched on, right? And I think I'm in the same boat. I mean, we have the Packers up next.
mhm.
That's. I hope we can win that one. I mean, I'm not going to say it's a gimme. The Packers have been playing a lot of easier teams as well, too. I think that's the kind of running headline.
They got Jordan Love, and they got Jordan Love. They
It's Josh
have
Jacobs, dude. God
and Josh Jacobs at running back. And even if Jordan Love is out, they still got a good backup to go in and run the ball on the teams and stuff like that. So Packers, I do not sleep on Packers.
Yeah,
I do not
but then
sleep on them.
Vikings, I think the Vikings beat us, even though both those games are at home. And we're going to have a terrible home record by the time the season is done.
Man, if we could at least get one, I need one of those games. Give me one of those games, because like my thing is, Packers and Vikings they're like on the top, right? Those are like practically playoff teams. That shows, those are our litmus tests of how much can we handle good playoff teams, because these are two good playoff teams. Bears, I'll take that as a trap game.
Yeah.
As always, because if the Bears all of a sudden improve over these next 2 weeks or 3 weeks to that game, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And then Rams is Rams. It's up in the air on Rams.
We really can't predict what's going to happen with the rest of our season. I mean, we're sitting at the number 1 spot right now. Rams losing this week would have been big time for us too, but they didn't.
I said it to you personally, but I love the chaos that the Rams keep it, and I just said screw it. I'd rather take.
I don't
the
love
Rams
it at
out.
our expense, Adam.
I'd rather take the Rams at the height of their hubris and basically win January 5th.
Yeah.
Would love to see it.
So Rams is next up on our leaderboard. Let's take a look at their performance, and quite the performance it was.
Performance. They won 44-42 against the Buffalo Bills. I didn't get to see the first half, but from what I caught with highlights and stuff like that, Rams just took advantage of what they could. Defensively, they were actually holding Josh Allen back. Honestly, Josh Allen didn't really start balling out until I would say the fourth quarter, where 21 points of a comeback.
Yeah.
And their defense, their defense locked up in that moment. Rams only scored 6. They could have won that game.
It's kind of crazy, right? Like, I didn't know what to take of this. Like, is the defense that good, or
They were just pulling out both of these teams, Rams and the Bills, will at least show you that they have offenses. That's why I don't sleep on the Rams. You can't sleep on anyone in the NFC West, which I was surprised that we held Cardinals to the 18 points that we did. Or actually, over our 2 meetings with the Cardinals was one thing, but the Rams is another, and they held the Buffalo Bills, who we imploded against when we faced them, 44-42. Granted, their defense wasn't much there.
Yeah, I guess that's a flip side, right?
But Matthew Stafford still says, "I still got it."
And I mean,
I still got that dog in me, because
they had a special teams moment as well too. I think they had a block punt that they returned for a touchdown. Those with a score like 44-42. At a certain point, teams decide, all right, we're just going to see who can score the most points, right? Like, I think we've seen that time and time again. I mean, I think I still remember that Houston game where I think it was Deshaun Watson's rookie season.
Yeah,
it was like something crazy, like a similar scoreline.
I think that was also the Rams with Jared Goff versus the Chiefs at that time. You remember that game where they had 50 plus points, and it really came down to the last touchdown.
And it literally came down to like a couple points or something like that, right?
Basically, so it's basically just like the defense is gashed. That's kind of what it felt like with this game, with how it was going. Both defenses, they got gashed, or they just got out schemed. And it was really just who can out scheme who on, who can outscore who, and the Rams got it.
Yeah, and Josh Allen is continuing to prove that he's that man.
And this was his best game too. 6 total touchdowns from one person.
3 rushing. Whoever has him on fantasy fucking is mopping the floor.
57 points. He has the most, obviously, for a quarterback in one game. So he has the record for that, I believe, at this point. But 342 yards. He was really efficient. I know, granted, 22 for 37, and then he ran in with 82 yards rushing, by the way, on top of that. And then James Cook has said, I can take a sig back, his 6 for 20 rushes. Otherwise, Shakir made a really good touchdown on the
Yeah,
Rams.
he like literally just split the defenders and turned the Jets, right?
On that edge too, like on that
Yeah.
edge when he got that touchdown. I was just like, you can't say anything to Shakir. Like that's the thing. They both have offensive weapons, but speaking of weapons, let's talk about the Rams. Like Puka Nacua, he had 12. He only missed 2 targets, so he had 12 receptions, 162 yards, and a touchdown, and a rushing touchdown at that.
I think he's kind of becoming that guy for the Rams, and I don't know, maybe it's because when Cooper Kupp is full and healthy.
No, he's always been that guy. He's always been that. That was like their 2 receivers, and when they were either one of them or both of them were like injured, they weren't the Rams that you know. Now that they have both, because even Cooper Kupp got 92 yards, five for 92, and a touchdown as well. Yeah. So I don't know what else to say except like it's going to be a game when we finally face them, and that's why I also hope, as I said before, on the video with explaining our game with the Cardinals, like if hopefully our safeties are ready for that, because they're just going to be throwing it down the field.
Yeah,
with the Rams. That's one thing I scouted with this game. I said do not sleep on the Rams. They will throw the ball around you.
Yeah, and at least for the Seahawks, one thing that they kind of called out, I don't know if we touched on it, was that we had a lot of success on defense, but we were only rushing 4 guys. We didn't do any real exotic blitzes or anything like that. Situations like that are really helpful in this situation, because if you can just rush 4 and get pressure, you can drop those linebackers into coverage, and we got linebackers that can cover now, right?
Yeah, because I think McDonald's whole thing is to if they do blitz, we blitz our corners more so than our linebackers and stuff, because he wants to use them in coverage a lot. So either or, I mean, I know sometimes we do send one linebacker in here and there, but not as much. So
the Rams have the 49ers up next.
I hope they take a loss there, just for shits and giggles.
Just for the kids. Just for us. Can I get one?
Now for us, you take a loss right there, because I think did they beat them before?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, the Rams did beat them before.
Yeah, if the Rams sweep the 49ers, that pushes 49ers down to, I wouldn't say out of contention yet. It'll want to be one of those, we can be the third or the whatever. I don't know how the wild card teams are shaping up right now, but if they sweep the 49ers, it's all it is just a win against us, and that's all they would need, and better record, obviously.
It just puts more pressure on this upcoming game, because like this is the one for the Seahawks, because it's just so tight still. Following that, and plus Rams are at 49ers. I don't know I can take a look at what the line is, at least what Vegas thinks. Right now, Vegas thinks that their 49ers are a 2.5-point favorite, but Vegas also thought that the Cardinals were a 2.5-point favorite against us, so not always right. After that, Rams have the Jets, which should be a win.
That should be a win, unless the Jets all of a sudden find themselves or something. So,
I mean, they're playing at MetLife. Maybe it's cold. I don't know.
Well, if they do lose to the Jets, that would be nice. Just saying. Any loss for the Rams before we get to us will help, because even if we do split, if we have the better record, we have it though. So. Yeah. And well, actually, we can't. Yeah. If we do split, but we don't want to obviously get swept.
Yeah. And then they have the Arizona at home. Arizona hopefully is still fighting for something at this point, just to keep it interesting, and just to give them a fight. I hope they don't.
Well, Arizona, I think they can still, because they're 6-7 alongside the 49ers is 6-7, but they can still get something. So they just have to win out. So basically, this is a brawl until the very last game.
And I don't really know what to predict with that game, because when the Cardinals played the Rams earlier in the season, Rams were very heavily injured, and they came up with Cardinals came with a 41-10 win. It was ridiculous. They mopped the floor with them. I don't think it's going to be that kind of a game at home at SoFi, and so that's going to be a tough one. Who knows?
Hopefully, Puka Nacua can know who he's facing or where they stand in the NFC West.
Yeah,
he was on Pat McAfee's show. It was funny.
Yeah,
he was
such a likable guy, though.
He is. Oh yeah. He was just like, I don't know who we're facing, but I know we're facing someone from the NFC West on Thursday. And I said, okay.
And then they have Rams have us to close it out at home. I'm hoping that at that point we can. It doesn't matter. I don't know if it will. I don't.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm just gonna save you the stress. It will matter on that final game.
Yeah.
Just save you the stress.
I mean, if we go 1-2,
I'm telling you to pre-stress right now for the final week.
Yeah. If we go 1-2 and they go 2-1, we're tied at the top, and so it comes down to that game. Assuming
I think it comes down to if we have the same record, it will come to best of record against each other, right? If we got swept or not. But if it's split all, if let's say it's all split, and then if they lose against the Jets, but we beat the Jets, and they'll do stuff like that, or best of record and strength of schedule. They always have something to fall back on to get rid of those ties. Either way, we will probably have to see them in the wild card then. If we were to lose out but yet still retain it, it's like basically we're meeting for the wild card matchup
Yeah.
to then go division.
Yeah. And so, long story short, January 5th is going to be an important day in our books.
Yep.
And then, last but not least, we had
49ers.
49ers against
They
the Bears.
they faced the Bears. It wasn't much of a game. I watched no, I didn't even have to watch it. I saw that they were scoring heavy and often, and then the Chicago didn't even like score until like late in the third quarter. So I just said that it's done.
Yeah.
I said it's done.
I mean, hopefully
There's nothing to watch here.
hopefully those Bears show up against us and not anything wacky.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Otherwise, it's right now with the NFC West, it is still a brawl. We have the benefit of the doubt of not having as many losses as everyone else, where we would really leave it open. But right now, we have like a little bit of a lead, and that will take us at least having that little bit of a lead. Will at least guarantee we can at least guarantee one loss right now.
Yeah.
But
And,
we can't. We can't give any more than one loss. If we lose more than one time in these next 3 weeks before we get to our final game with the Rams, it's going to be looking different.
yeah.
Which, yeah.
And, I mean, looking at the stat sheet here, I mean, this was kind of Brock Purdy's prove-it game, 325 for 2 tuds. Isaac Garando got his first start with CMC and Jordan Mason both being hurt and just kind of stepped in like he started this whole season, which I fucking hate. Caleb Williams struggled, but he got 2 touchdowns, 17 for 23, 134 yards.
It's garbage time, though,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
D
With that,
Swift
like
got
that,
38.
it's like towards the end.
Yeah. I mean, Roma Dunze got those 2 touchdowns too, so go Huskies. That's the only highlight I got out of this, man.
Wow, Roma Dunze actually got some fantasy points.
Yeah.
I've been stashing him on my thing. Either way, with the rest of this, like I'm glad we took advantage of what we took advantage of. I wish we had the Seahawks now before the bye, but that's okay. We'll take what we can because we're on top with 8-5. But that doesn't mean we can't fall down and then miss out on even going to the playoffs. Still, it's still we don't have a guarantee. Like we don't have a playoff clinch yet. Wait, we would have to win. I think our next 2. No, I think we have to win 3 games to definitely say we clinched a playoff spot. I literally think so. If not,
I think
2.
we have to win 3.
I think it's 3-2 looking at the all of the NFC right now. But
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's been fun watching the NFC West fight it out here.
Yeah, and so the Niners, they got Rams up next. I kind of hope the Niners take it. I don't know. It'll be at SoFi, so we'll see. The 22nd, they're playing at Miami. Miami has kind of turned it around a little bit. They can give them something. I don't know. What do you
I
think?
hope so. I hope they could take. I hope everyone else takes more losses than we do. I
Yeah.
hope so.
And then afterwards, they got the Lions.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
I don't know if the
lo-
Lions are going to be playing for anything at that point.
Oh, they already clinched. Lions have already clinched their playoff spot at this point, so it's really just they're going to play their backups at that point.
But
You don't
I mean,
want to
for
risk
that
it.
number 1 seed, though, like that's the only seed that gets a bye.
Yes, that is very true.
And the
They're
Eagles
12
are only
and
1
1.
game back, I think.
Yeah, it depends on what happens with the Eagles the rest of this season, and if Lions take another loss, then they'll definitely have something to play for the first week bye, right?
Yeah.
Because I think right now, I can at least say this: Seahawks, we have the number 3 spot in the playoffs because we're first in NFC West, and the first wild card, I think, is going to the Packers or the 2 wild card teams are Packers and Commanders at the moment at 6 and 7. No. 5 Vikings, Packers, and Commanders.
Actually, to be
because
honest,
Lions
like,
are up there.
If Seahawks win, that makes things interesting a little bit for the Packers as well too. In terms
Yeah, the
of their
Packers will go to
losses.
9-5. Will be 9-5, and it depends on if the Rams win, they'll be in wild card content. They'll be in wild card at that point.
Yeah, and so like there are situations where like if the Packers just kind of fall off a cliff too.
Yes.
Same with the Commanders.
Yeah, Commanders they kind of fell off a little too early because they were hot, and they're on a
were.
bye week too. So
Yeah, and so I don't think the 49ers are going to be as much in the picture. I'm hoping they just kind of are chaos factors for the other 2.
yeah, it just depends on our number of wins, which is funny because the NFC North is just that's crazy over there. But we are at currently 65% chance for playoff. I don't know where in playoff because we could easily be first in the NFC West and then just be in the division
Or seventh.
or seventh, right?
Or sitting
Because
at
right
home.
now the Rams are on the Rams are 8. That's outside. They're on the bubble, and then 2 spots down. It's then the Cardinals at 10, and then 49ers at 11. So
Yeah.
they got to win out. Rams, if they keep winning, and someone like Vikings or obviously the Packers because we face them loses, great.
Yeah. I mean, that kind of puts a wrap on the NFC West this week. Any final thoughts before we send people on their way?
Just keep winning, Seahawks. Just keep winning.
I mean,
That's all I
just
can
with the
say.
situation, just try to take it 1 week at a time. Don't worry about the schedule. Just
Yeah, I don't know when we are in clinch. I think we can't clinch until like the last 2 weeks. That's the only when we can clinch. If that's and then we have to win those first two to even be in contention to. Yeah, I think we have to be at 11, if not 10 wins to clinch. So we'll see.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for joining us here at Miss Reps. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you again next time.
Peace.